Hi everyone, I'm Phil, CEO and one of the co-founders here at Chalky. Thanks for joining us on this quick intro to Chalky, the platform, and how to use it. Okay, so I'm going to really briefly run through the dashboard, how it looks, what we do, and just give you a sense of Chalky in general. So if I go into single lesson, I can choose my topic. So if I do the life cycle of a frog, and then I'll pick my level. So I'm in the UK, so I'm going to do year 4. We'll do a 14 slide lesson. If I have additional instructions, so I might say, spend a lot of time on the growth of a tadpole, for example. The AI will make sure it spends a bit more time on that specific part of the lesson, or I may ask it to do it in a certain order, whatever makes sense. And the final thing I can do is align it to my curriculum. So this is a pro feature. If you are one of our pro users, you can align Chalky to most curriculums in our main market. So I've got the national curriculum for England here. My auto picker has done a good job of figuring out which standards this lesson should be aligned to. But I've also got the Australian curriculums, I've got Canadian curriculums, and I've got Ireland, New Zealand, and all 50 US states, as well as the federal level curriculums too. Curriculum is optional, you don't need it, but we always try and make sure we've got the standards loaded in. So if there's one there you can't see, click on that, send us an email, and we will make sure our team get to work on adding it in. Okay, so I've aligned to my standards. I'll press continue. Now, we've got a few things you can do. You can add learning objectives. You can ask for a key vocabulary list. You can ask us, if you're a pro user, to get a YouTube video that's relevant. And you can also have an activity sheet made that will complement the lesson we're about to generate. So I'm going to click all of these for this example. In activity sheets, I'll go into this in more detail in a later lesson, but I'll just create a lesson starter as well. Choose my theme, go for bright for the life cycle of a frog. And now the AI will generate that lesson for us pretty quickly. It will show you as it's generating, so you have an idea of what's being built. And after everything is generated, you'll then be able to edit and add to it as you wish. Okay, great. So that's generally what the lessons will look like. I can go in and swap images. I can change context. I can add more slides to it. I can ask for another YouTube video. I can add text. I can click on an image and ask it to swap it out for a different one. It will give some suggestions, or I can type in exactly what I want. A couple of things I'll point out. You can add activities into your lessons. So if you want to add a quiz, fill in the blank, image matching, whatever makes sense, you can just click that and the AI will add it in to the lesson for you at the appropriate level. And then you just drag and drop if you want to move it around somewhere else in the lesson. Once you're done with the lesson, click export it to Google Slides, PowerPoint, or PDF, or share it to another teacher in your class. The other thing I did, if you remember when I created the lesson, is I asked it to make me an activity sheet too. So I'm going to click that and I'll show you really quickly what the activity sheets on Chalky look like. Okay, so this is the activity sheet that what the AI created for me with my lesson. So you can see it's a starter, it's got a few definitions, fill in the gaps, it's got AI generated images, and it's got the answers for me on the last page. So I can move these blocks around, I can change the design a little bit, make it bigger, make it smaller, and I can get rid of things like the name and date, or not include the answer sheet if I want to print it out and hand it out around class, or I can simply present it. So you can print, you can export, and you can share. We'll go into activity sheets in a lot of detail soon, but this is just a general overview of what it does. That's a very brief intro to Chalky. You can see I've got my lesson, I've got my activity sheet, and I can go into those and add to it, edit it. In some other videos, we'll dive deeper into a lot of the functionalities. You can see how to get the most out of Chalky.